I wake up very often feeling really profoundly hopeless. Anybody else here? So, about a month ago, I heard our next speaker talk. He's 18 years old, and in the 10 minutes or 15 minutes that he spoke, he completely changed my outlook on life. And I think he will do the same for you right now. Excuse me. His name is Nick Ostheimer. He is 18 years old, the president of the Florida FAU Democrats. Nick, come on out. This is the next generation.
Thanks, Philip. When I went to their Indivisibles meeting about a month ago, the first question that anybody asked me, I heard from a woman who's been organizing for the past... This is good? Can you all hear me? You want me to be louder? Perfect, there we go. When I went to the first Indivisible meeting about a month ago, Philip was great to invite me. The very first person I heard from as I was approaching the door was a woman who's been organizing for decades. She asked me, distressed, where are all the young people? So rarely do I see young people turn out and organize, protest, register to vote, make their voices heard. And I get it, because in America, life as a young person is hard. Goodness knows this administration isn't making it any easier on us. We have to worry about getting employed, finding a job, saving up enough money to buy a home one day, maybe, potentially, getting a car. So, in those few moments when young people do turn out and organize, like today, I see so many young people in the audience, like never before. It makes me so proud. It touches my heart. Thank you. I am proud of you. You are what will save this country. But you are not the only young people in Palm Beach County, in Florida, in the United States of America. And I can tell you with confidence that the average young person is cynical, hopeless. They feel left behind by the political process because they are. Young people don't vote because no one listens to them, and no one listens to them because young people don't vote. It is a deadly cycle. And I know that it is with the hard work of involved people like you that we can fix that. There are so many people at Indivisibles, with 5051, with Florida Valkyries, even with the Florida Democratic Party that put a great deal of work into making sure that young people are registered to vote and prepared to make their voices heard. Because that is the only way that young people will take back this country from a gerontocracy that is concerned with enriching itself at the expense of the next generation. I've been feeling desperate about politics ever since I was 14 years old, and I saw January 6th play out live on television. I thought, this is my country. I am the first American in my family. Both of my parents came here as immigrants. They came here on H-1B visas. They're considered by this government aliens of extraordinary ability. It sounds like they're Superman and woman, and goodness knows they are. But I'm a citizen. This is my home. And ever since January 6th, I've been looking for a way to make myself useful, to make a difference in American democracy. I found that chance in fall of last year, when in my first year at Florida Atlantic University, I got a job opportunity with the Florida Future Leaders PAC, led by a great young man from FSU. His name is June D'Onofrio. He leads the youngest youth PAC in the United States of America. I was working full-time, making sure that people are registered on the breezeway, talking with frat boys, sorority girls, and commuter students to ensure that they're informed about American politics, what's going on today, how it affects them, and how that is going to influence their vote in November. I must have registered hundreds of students to vote, and I had a great team of volunteers and other employees by my side to do it. On election day, I am so incredibly proud that the voter precincts at FAU and UF both achieved over 100% turnout because of all the students who had moved in from out of state and cast provisional ballots. They were able to make their voices heard right here in the state of Florida because there are young people organizing, working hard, registering voters, making sure that young people are prepared to fight back against this government. And yes, And yet, ever since Trump's re-election, many of my friends, many of them immigrants, many of my fellow organizers have been daunted. They are afraid to go out and organize. They are afraid to go and make their voices heard. Both of my parents are concerned about attending these protests, or even me attending these protests, because they're not citizens. Who knows what the Trump administration will do to them for speaking their voices? I get it. I get it. But the moment Americans are too afraid to go out in public and tell the Trump administration that you are ruining this country, he will have lost. Goodness knows, that is not the case. Because I see hundreds of people out here. 3.5 million Americans are assembled to make their voices heard in protest today across the United States of America. And even though Trump has deployed 3,000 National Guardsmen and 700 Marines to the streets of Los Angeles, hundreds of thousands of Angelenos are turning out and sticking up to ICE thuggery and Trump's authoritarianism. This is why I am proud to be an American. This is why I consider myself a patriot. Not because we have a big bad military to show off in Washington, D.C., to parade around as if we're North Korea, but because of what it's supposed to protect. A proud and independent nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I read a couple days ago in the newspaper that Professor Jason Stanley, apparently one of our foremost experts on fascism at Yale University, has fled the country. He moved to Canada. And look, I hope he can build a good life there, but as far as I'm concerned, he is a coward. Anyone who knows the first thing about fascism knows that right now, America is a free country. As long as you have the right to go out and demonstrate, to protest, to vote, to kick out Trump and his ilk in 2028, America is a free country. You have rights and liberties, and the only way to protect them is to use them. I've heard so many people tell me, I've read so many people say on social media that, after Trump's re-election, they're going to move to Canada, they're going to move to Sweden. No, they have free health care, they have free college, and look, that may be true, but this is my home. This is where I grew up. I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida, born and raised. I've been going to school in Boca Raton for the last 13 years of my life. I graduated high school a few weeks ago. Am I going to leave because some populist jerk got elected to the presidency twice? Hell no! Hell no. And look, if academics, professors, and other privileged people want to pick up and leave, that is their right. But I love my country, and I'm going to live and die in the United States of America. Better later than sooner. So as we slowly begin to wrap up this protest and this rally, I want you to think, what are the next few years of your life going to look like? What are your politics going to look like in practice? Because politics doesn't wait until Election Day, No King's Day, Flag Day. Politics happens every day, every single day. And that calls for a moment of reflection. Because for the next few years, what are you going to do? I want to make sure that you are talking to the young people in their life, making sure that they know that they have to be registered to vote. And get on that stuff early, especially if you're in Florida, because our governor has a habit of throwing out voter registrations. So stay on it. Get registered early, make sure your kids, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews are registered and they stay registered. Not only that, but as so many people wake up to the harm that Trump is doing to our country, it is important that we are open-minded and that we talk to them. Because one thing progressives are really good at is talking to other progressives. But that's preaching to the choir. At the end of the day, you're not winning any votes by agreeing with your neighbor who you've been talking to for the last 2 years that Trump sucks. We know, but they haven't figured that out yet. And as they wake up to it, be open-minded. Talk to your neighbors. Have those difficult conversations and realize they are Americans too. Many of them have been misled by a populist liar who wants to use this country to enrich himself and stay out of prison. And they're beginning to realize it, trust me. Make this party, make this country a proud place for them to stand with freedom and liberty. So I'm gonna wrap up, but on the note of young people, I have such a long life to live in this country, and I look forward to it. I am confident that Trump is going to be a memory at some point in my life. This country has overcome fascism many times before. When Confederates enslaved half of this country and brought war, we beat them. The Union won, and it doesn't matter how many Confederate flags people fly in their pickup trucks. We live in the United States of America, not the Confederate States of America. In the 1950s, we survived McCarthyism when Republicans decided that everyone left of center was a suspected communist, a pinko. They lost. We have a free country, and the only way to protect your rights and freedoms is to keep using them. Thank you.
Do you all feel inspired by that now? The first time I met this young man, I said that we, as a collective, would stand shoulder to shoulder with him at any point to engage voters and get people out to change this shit show. Are you with Nick?